Excessive yang or masculine energy is a very dangerous status to be in, as is excessive yin. It is known, proven, that when you are in excessive bravado, rah rah, masculine, distorted emperor, distorted anything, it can bring an early demise and a violent one. And this doesn't have to be about a person being evil or good or anything. It's just that anybody in their human experience can be in that space of excessive yang energy. And there's blinders, and it's an energy. Energy begets energy. So if you want something like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Rah, rah. You know, a lot of the good ones got caught out like that because they were provoked. That's what this read is about. They were provoked and staying in such a dense rage, masculine, on steroids type energy, put them in harm's way. It cleared them from their intuition, using the third eye, the feminine side. You know, it was this all masculine, it was all emperor energy, and excessive and provoked and dense. But where was the empress energy? You needed that third eye. That's the empress. So I'm providing coffee reads. It's not just reads about episodes, season 1, episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's cool because that's providing a great deal of collective read energy, as we move forward, as we journey forward. The coffee reads, this is something that I do every day for safety. I don't step a toe out of the Anubis headquarters without doing a coffee read. I need to know what is going on. And today, I'm being told before I start filming, the next episode, start implementing the coffee reads. Okay? So we're going to get straight into it. As you can see here, this is a picture of the citadel in Haiti. Big up to all the Haitians, you know what I'm saying? Big up. And big up to some type of healing and balancing of that nation. It's imperative. But because the way Haiti is positioned on this planet, there's going to be a lot of suffering if we don't balance out Haiti. Ain't that something? So that means enough is enough. Stop limiting this nation for whatever reason. Okay, but that's we're not going to go in. I'm going to start sounding like Palpatine in Star Wars and hooting and hollering and getting into the politics. Even though politics is definitely going to be on this channel. It is. It's part of the prophecies, Gog, Magog, Armageddon, the secrets of Fatima, the prophecy of this, that, and the third, your own premonitions. It is what it is. But this is a citadel in Haiti. And in this citadel, I did a rendering series. And, one of Papa Legba, he manifests in many different ways. This is one of them. And it doesn't look like he's smiling and kikiing and, when he's my docile, chill, my big Papa Legba, it's a different story. But when he's like this, and this is a war citadel in Haiti, excuse me, it's on like popcorn. So, of course, I have his oracle out. I have tarot and I have my 357 Saratoga. And we're going to do a nice, succinct, tight read on what's going on security-wise. So it says in the back, a buffoon and his goons suffer misfortune with the law after whatever corruption they've been up to and whatever law breaking, very significant on that because that's underlined, whatever law breaking repeatedly, it says repeatedly, and for a long duration of time. So they're finally getting caught all the way up, right? I'm telling you, they got hustled. They were allowed to do a lot because it would take a lot to take certain people down. This is a massive web woven. It was woven by a silly, silly wench, by the way. Um, Something like Rosewood, if you're familiar with the movie Rosewood, based on a true story. It took a wench, a Queen of Wands, in reverse, to start a whole massacre because she can't keep her goddamn legs closed and be honorable as a wife and all that. So this whole massive, snowballing or avalanche effect because of one silly, low vibrational Queen of Wands in reverse. Uh, got a lot of people caught up. And for a long time, because everybody thought it was funny. Everybody thought it was funny. They ganged up. Let me make sure. Okay. Let's make sure we're recording. They ganged up, of course. There's always the gangs. This is what's trending. This is what it is, for all of the Trojan ones and others outside of that. So it took her to spin this web. And then, Ashton Kutcher comes up. Interesting. Well, let's set him to the side real quick. The Ark of the Covenant, they have the best of the bestesses seated at that round table. And they have Arachne. She's in goddess mode now. She's received her boon. Yes, the Arachne. You can look her up. I also call her the Black Widow. So she dismantled this stupid web. Flying monkeys and people with resources that are so foul and nasty and shady, right? Grimy. Eventually, we will get to her as promised. And she does compliment Sean Combs. Yes. Where there's an Adam, there's an Eve, right? So we've touched on the Adam, and we touched on the Eve. So that means there must be a realm or a plane that these two will be, exiled to. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. It's all in Revelations, but we're going to get to what hard work they put in and how many people they have harmed to bring them to this point. The Adam and Eve of the new VIP of hell. Wow. So this is where the read is going, Papa. All right, here we go. So the VIP is bigger than the club. Again, the VIP is bigger than the club. Make it make sense, because usually in the club you have a little section carved out for the VIP and everybody has to look at it all wistfully. Or when you're in it, you feel like you all of that in a bag of chips, like whatever. But it's the flip side now. It's the flip side. You got Dante's Inferno, but that's simply just a hat on top of Eve. And her entire body is a multi-dimensional VIP of hell. But she got to sit down. She needs a throne. And that's where Sean Combs comes in. They both got their forever names. We'll get to that. But because of these two idiots, the Mark of the Beast is set off. All kinds of stuff is going on. There's way too much ritual. Way too much abusive magic. And way too much of them not knowing the full story, the more to the story. Ignorant, heavy bravado, distorted emperor energy. So they were blind. They think they're so intuitive, but they're not. Just because you do divination left, right, and center doesn't mean that you don't have the illest blinders. You do. And if you're not linked to the right, deities, or if the deities have shook you off of them, like, nah, I'm going to go sit at the round table. They're offering a much better deal than y'all. They on the winning team. I don't know what y'all think this is, but I'm out. And that explains why, Sean Combs is in the Metropolitan now. Because Dantor Uzerli, we're going to do a read just on Miss Dantor Uzerli. Tisk. Ooh. Papa Lepa cussed her ass out. I was like, what's going on? Because I was new to the game. The arc was just formulating. I was just like, what's going on? And he was cussing her ass out. Because he asked her to do something. And she wouldn't do it. And I wouldn't understand just yet what he asked her to do. And then she just got decommissioned. And ever since then, Diddy has been eroding, and then eventually he just eroded, and he's in the Metropolitan with the big old tattoo of Don Tour on his back. Both of them have pissed me thoroughly off. Okay? So, back to Arachne, real quick. She dismantled that web of foolishness that had to do with not the good Freemasons and Eastern Stars, but the wicked ones. They like to womb raid and gangbang in the dream state and all kinds of nonsense. All kinds. Everything they can throw at you in the kitchen sink. So Arachne dismantled that web and put in a whole new other. She's a master web weaver, just a master weaver. Like, she's incredible. And she took materials that it's not even known to Earth and rewoven a different web. Every day we hustling. Every day we hustling. So now they're suffering misfortune. Those who are in excessive yang, they feel like they're going to go ahead and do something to you and get paid off of it. And try so many things, get you set up for crimes you did not commit. Hold on to this. If you hear the word Ashley, and you hear it more than once, that's a heads up, a warning. They're trying to set you up for something, particularly a murder. Trying to get you set up for something. And they've been trying. And that means they must have quite a network, quite a weave woven, a nice little web woven real good with people with resources and authority. Corrupted. I want to thank the FBI on the other side of the veil as well as on this side. Because better believe that there's FBI on both sides of the veil. You better believe it. They are in deep despair and really don't want to partake in the human experience anymore. I'm trying to be careful with the verbiage, right? Gotta be careful. So let's get the Papa Legba Oracle. My coffee reads. Sometimes it has a crown card, like right now, and then there's 3 spaces that we're going to look at, three positions. I can already tell, just from, there's a lot of recovery. This is a aqua aura. You can do titanium, all kinds of aura crystals to, protect your aura. This is a blue, however you pronounce it, y'all. Chalcedony. It's part of like carnelian family of crystals. This is really lovely. It's great for high priests and high priestesses because it wards off really negative, nasty energy, but it's very soothing and very lovely. You got your selenite here to keep things clean. Your Herkimer diamond. This is like possibly 500 million years old. It's in the millions, this Herkimer diamond. You can get it when you go and mine in Herkimer, New York. They carve out a time every year where people are allowed to go and dig for these diamonds. But just like any other diamond, it is an amplifier. So when you wear diamonds, it's pretty good because it will amplify your energy. But depending on what energy you amplifying. Because you got to keep it balanced. Excessive yang can take you out. And excessive yin can take you out. Now, their excessive yang is now excessive yin as they look at pill bottles and, other forms of, other ways to get the hell off this matrix grid and never come back here again. Never come back here again. As they put you in the hangman position. Didn't they do it? What you're supposed to be because you're a Trojan horse. But it was a public crucifixion. And then all of a sudden, the Ark of the Covenant came in and flipped it. Now you Doctor Strange hovering in the air. And they're like, what the hell? And now they up in it. They were all crowded at the bottom of their feet talking about, you can't win. Can't break even. Can't get out of the game. Right? Didn't they do that? They was wilding. A whole bunch of crows. Wah, caw, caw. Now the crows, your friends. Well, not those crows. Actual crow totem energy. Big up to Odin. Yes, he does exist. Oh, we're going to talk about Odin now. We're going to talk about Odin, child. Okay? And his donation to the cause. There's some government energy going on here. But a lot of protection. You know. Bottom of the deck. Body snatching. So people that was coming near you, near your home, near your job, come for you, they might have got body snatched, like, you know, just straight disappeared. I'm telling you, the Ark of the Covenant is not to be toyed with. Underestimate it if you want. Okay, so yeah, but there's some government, secret government experimentation. When all else fails, prison or mental. Let's see, resurrection. Okay, so resurrection, frequency, Noah's Ark. They really want to stop the resurrection. They cannot. You got the Holy Ghost here, making sure that, you know, any kind of government, any attempts to come and do you something or experimenting on you from remote is being hampered. You know it's got to be on to have this war right here. So to have Papa Legba in this type of mood and to come for people who definitely have resources to do something very wicked to you. If they have that much resource and that much power and that much wickedness in their heart, then it's okay if they disappear, right? I mean, this is a spiritual war. Everything goes two ways. So whatever plan you got, whatever plot you got, first of all, the Ark is going to pick it up way before you can execute it. And they're free to do whatever they want to do because they're outside of the confines of the physics. Yeah, well, they are the new physics, right? So they don't have to worry about karmic returns for taking your ass and tearing you a new one with it, okay? Taking your ass and tearing you a new one with the Ark of the Covenant. Okay, so code 548, retain that, everybody. All masters, retain that, 548. That's the code for Mother and Father God. Or Wrath and Doom, Van Doom. For all practitioners that have foolishly tried to stop your destiny by causing you some harm, like they really turned it up. A lot of them did go to Haitian and as well as African practitioners. See, you know, in Haiti, sometimes this is what, let me tell you what be going on. They'll have one practitioner who has 5 practitioners that he works with or she works with. And those 5 each have 5 practitioners that they work with. And then so on and so forth. So before you know it, you got this Arachne'sWeb and you got this voodoo susu. And then you got other forms of sorcery, you know, Moloch worship and satanic worship. Those are the 2 main worships here. But yeah, there's a feminine worship too, Lilith. Those 3 we're going to really focus on. Okay, so SA in the dream state. Magic to stop or what's that? Make you go into the courthouse. All kinds of stuff. But the bottom line is it says wrath and doom are here and payment has come due. This is Papa Legba on my skin, on my arm. You can see. This is where, hopefully, you can see that. This little mole right here. I don't know if you can see that. But a lot of times, this is where I get a lot of epidermograms. That's the name of the oracle. So I have a whole oracle that has even more detail. But this is just Papa Legba showing up on my arm. My arm burns, and then I take a picture because that's the only way it's going to stop. And then, you know, so of course I made an oracle out of it. This card came out. This is the second position. So the first position is that you got the Holy Ghost here. Then the second position, and you got Wrath and Doom here. There have been all types of foolishness going on with Orisha and Loa with voodoo before, but that stopped because the Ark of the Covenant has Orisha, it has all these different pantheons. So you can't go to Ogun. You can't. You damn sure ain't going to Oya, especially if it happens to be me personally. You're not going to Oya on my behalf. She will smite you with the quickness. And she's received a boon. All the Orishas have received a boon. They're more powerful. Ogun is more in Kraken mode. Imagine Ogun in Kraken mode. Woo! Mm. Here's my grandmother here. She's here. So it says the motherfucker always likes to play games, and this is how he dies, from playing games. Taking both Mark of the Beast with him. The first mark is that silly chick that I told y'all about. That's the first mark of the beast. But the second mark of the beast is, if you read about it, I call it Medusa or Medusi. With all that Medusi going on, because the sexual rituals is off the chain. They are so nasty. You can make a sexy time, you can have a good time, but they be ill. Stinky. You will hear me go throughout the reads. This is, they want to send that stinky spell work to you, but they the ones that be like, scandalous. I'm hearing Mother God. She's like, scandalous. And Tupac just showed up. Because Tupac is a wild one. If you want to go, like, let's just stay under the Vatican and the catacombs and see what's popping, he can do that. And we'll get to that. So Medusi. Yeah, Medusi. So whoever, the enemies that are harassing you, they all are taking each other down, including Medusi, which would be the second beast. And we'll go into the science behind the first and the second beast. But the second beast is definitely people of power. It's going back to the same slave protocol. You have Massa, Medusi. You have, so that's old money, new money, political power, all kinds of stuff with robes and worship of Moloch and all this craziness, right? You got that. Nothing new on the planet. This has been going on for a very long time, ages. Then you got the overseers who have, legal authorities that they may abuse at any time. Then you have the house ninjas. Then you got the field ninjas. Now the field ninjas, that was the first line of attack for you. They getting their ass handed to them according to this reading. Then you got the house ninjas. Celebrities or people with some form of power that have been tapped into you for a very long time. And since they are in organizations, covens, whatever, and sometimes they even come and visit you because they want to see in person who it is that they've tapped into and why they got that yacht and why you are living with a roommate who's probably a handler or, so on and so forth, right? So there was housing. This is telling me this card is dealing with housing issues too. So you got people who are close to you that played a lot of games, especially around your housing stability, because if your housing is not stable, that throws you off from really like being in a safe situation, your own fort, your own citadel, where you can be Doctor Strange. Like no longer are you at a 9 to 5 perhaps, because they blocked your jobs. But somehow, some way, you making do, becoming or blossoming within being the high priest, the high priestess. Okay, so the government issues, right? The government, don't worry about it because there's so much magical energy. All kinds of species are sitting at that round table to protect. And they are very, with the dragon, one of their abilities is to exist between thoughts. Like that's a lot. That's pretty dope. My child can see my dragon and the other dragons that be rolling with him. I'm still alive. You're still alive. You're listening to this read. It says magical rewards For work done, opportunities, grand success, Jupiter energy. I'm seeing a Jupiter symbol here. So for teaching, writing, magnanimous, travel, movement, finding a new place to live, or just stabilizing where you are at. And if you are still where you're at, behind enemy lines, you're there until it's time to leave in divine order. That means you're leaving out with something and you're leaving something behind. Like a bomb. Not a real one though. You know, like it's the bomb. You're just leaving some karma. It may sound ludicrous, but if y'all want to go platinum, you know, it's a Trojan one you should get. Sound like that sonic energy of karma. It may sound ludicrous, but if you want to go platinum, I'm the one you should get. But you gotta treat me right. And then you can really receive from my Ace of Cups that runneth over. But for you to do womb rating and all this nonsense that y'all want to do, and then knock the cup over and take me out of this realm, then you're going to find out. You're going to find out that it doesn't work that way. And now as you sitting there looking at the pill battle, you're looking at the same poison, the formaldehyde you keep putting in people's food and drink, because the payment has come due. The payment has come due in a very massive manner. It's a fucking bloodbath, because the Ark of the Covenant will always win. It is always won and never lose. Papa Legba never lose. Let's get to 357 Saratoga. Okay, so here we go. 3 of Swords. But a nasty 3 of Swords. You got this, you know, a whole bunch of people. A whole bunch that really wanted to, I see Jagged Edge. You're innocent. If y'all saw that movie, Jagged Edge, that's crazy. People who look like normal, they have money, or they have a certain prestige, certain level of prestige, and you would never know that they're the ones that will put that mask on, a literal mask, not just the one that they wear, and then come and sneak into your home and do things, okay, to you. Horrible things to you. So also your home had, oh, wait a minute, look at this. The irony, you see how this is shaped? Wow. Okay, so we're dealing with people who thought that they can either stop you from going to a safe place or make the place you're at very, very unsafe, like Resident Evil unsafe, and come in and do some serious bodily harm. And if some people were on their way and got stopped and got disappeared. Oh, y'all gonna believe me about this Ark of the Covenant. I'm talking about the folks that's not in the government that don't already know about the Ark. They know about that Ark. They know good and well about that Ark. They keep probably a whole satellite. Forget CCTV. We passed that. They got a whole satellite watching me. I can't even go and to the toilet, take a shower without them watching. But there's a price to pay. I hope you got the monies to pay the bookies, because when it's time, you are going to hell for that. All that violation, what you think? You either are going to go platinum with us the right way, working in tandem with us without permission, or you are going to get yourself in trouble. The illest karma. We're here to prune you from the tree of life. Period. Close your contract. Now it's time to get the crackling and sizzling and burning down in the VIP of hell. And a lot of work. You put the work in, Daddy. A lot of work was done to put this new VIP of hell together. Y'all, a lot of work was done. We don't even know the half. And I don't want to know. It's nauseating. I see here's the Mothman. The Mothman. There will be an extinction level event for what they had planned for you, they are going to go into it. These are the same people who have spiritually and in other ways had the resources to stop you from getting jobs, stop you from getting approved for homes. On the back it said, "Not fret, not fret. See what happens next." So the other side is like, "Don't fret, see what happens next." Because first it was like an airport, right? First this card was an airport where they saw your blessings coming in and they would swipe it down or steal it. Now, when they go to look outside that control tower or that spying with that eye, they realize they're in the prison. Don't this look like a prison? It could even, that's why I also say, watch The Hunting Party. I think that's a good idea on NBC or I think through Peacock. Very important to watch that. These secret prisons that they have where they experiment. I'm already predicting ahead of time in the episodes what's going on. I already know. Plus, I can pull cards on the episode before the next one. I can already find out what's up. You know, but get to that. Okay, so this right here is Saturday, my Saturday brunch jazz. This is based off of what I call Operation Yukon. People really tried to make sure me and my family was in the street. They stripped us down like Job. They did. And then, lo and behold, things flip in my favor, right? Spirit family is on top of it. And next thing you know, I'm in the Yukon. It was a rental, but I'm grateful to be able to rent the Yukon because I needed a way to get around. We was in ATL. This is when COVID was gripping the planet. We had to journey to ATL to like put a stop to some near-death type thing, but we'll get to that because ATL, or Atl, according to the Mayans, it deals with resurrection. That's why I keep bringing up Ludacris. So we went down there and we stayed in two Airbnbs and a hotel suite, which, the prices down there are really good. And we needed a whip and some magic was going on and we almost didn't have the whip. And then we got complimentary Yukon. And I was just like, wow. And it felt good. My little 5'6", almost 5'5.5", was whipping the Yukon like, yo. And I was like chilling, yo. It was a nice vibe. It was a good vibe on Saturday. Like during the week, I had my little grown people hip hop. I don't do the lifestyle mumble rap. I'm sorry. No disrespect. It's just an energy, an octave that I need right now during this war. And that the mumble rap is not going to help me. I need to, fuel up with, some Big Daddy Kane, some Bismarcky. What up, Bismarcky? You know what I'm saying? So I need that kind of rap right now, okay? So I need Ludacris in my life. Okay. So we was in Atlanta and we didn't realize until after we came back to New York that we had created a Pythagoras theorem.